to Change Lives. I'm Habiba Chevalier, your host, and we have a very special show today for you. Phenomenal guest here with us, presenting to you today, Reema 4K. And Reema, welcome.
Thank you.
It is an honor and a privilege
Thank you so
for
much.
you to be with us today on Change Lives.
I am. I'm honored to be here today, actually.
Well, you're a very special guest, and I know you've got a very special crown that you achieved, and
Yes.
we want to hear all about it.
Oh, where
Tell
do I
us,
start?
Tell us. Well, just start who you are and what your purpose is, and we start right there.
Okay. In May of 2010, I won Miss USA, and
Awesome.
since then, I've been on quite of a journey and dealing with different organizations, traveling the world in the U.S. and working in not only entertainment, but fulfilling my dream in Hollywood as well.
Well, that is totally awesome. What did you do to win Miss USA? How did you achieve that crown?
It's difficult to say in just a brief summary, but I would tell you this. One thing the key thing that it takes to achieve something like Miss USA or even your dream is the confidence, the willpower, and this drive to never give up.
The desire that you had that
Yes.
I can do this.
Yeah, I can do this, and I'm not going to let anyone tell me differently.
Right, wonderful. Well, Reema, you won Miss USA, but where did you actually start? When did you start competing? Can you tell our viewing audience? I'm sure they want to know.
Oh, man.
How did Miss USA get to be Miss USA? Because that is a wonderful crown.
My answer is probably going to make a lot of pageant fans or maybe pageant girls upset because I was never a pageant girl. I grew up loving pageants, watching Miss USA, Miss America, Miss Universe every year. But for me to actually think I can one day be those girls was something that I thought was impossible.
So you didn't start with the 3-year-old pageant,
No.
the 5-year-old, just preparing like so many of those
No.
girls do. You didn't start there.
I feel
That's totally amazing.
I think that, and this goes out to all the pageant moms, if you do want your daughter to one day be Miss USA, don't enter them in child pageants.
Oh, really?
Not that I'm against child pageants, but at a small age, at a young age, girls to think that their beauty reflects who they are is wrong.
Okay.
Especially after you hear a mother giving her daughter Botox.
Oh.
That was last year. Please, moms, don't do that.
Oh.
That's something that's too extreme for a child. And one thing that helped me stand out in the pageant, and this was also said by Mr. Trump, who owns the pageant, as well as NBC, is that I kind of stood out because I wasn't the typical pageant girl. And what that means is I wasn't there because I thought I was beautiful. I was there because I thought I had a gift. I thought I wanted that crown for the right reason, not to just sit
Praise
there and
the
go,
Lord.
thank you, And also, I was going after it like no one can trip me and stop me. And that confidence is key.
Never give up, I'll never give up, I'll never give up.
Exactly. And in my situation, it wasn't easy because I didn't come from the community where people thought you can be a pageant girl.
Okay, well, can you tell us the type of support you got, maybe from the community, your church, and I know that you did some volunteering
Yes.
for some organizations, and tell us a little bit about what you did in preparing for this.
Well, okay. I'll start out with support system. I had none.
You had no support
I had
system.
one person that told me yes you can, and that was my mother and Obama.
All right. Hey, that's fabulous.
And because one, I'm Middle Eastern. I come from a strict household where girls are not to flaunt their bodies or wear bikinis or.
And where are you from?
I'm Lebanese. I was born in Lebanon, and I immigrated to New York City when I was 7 years old. When I was 7 years old. So I not only became the first immigrant, Arab, first Lebanese, and first Muslim to win Miss USA.
Wonderful.
And to get there, it was not easy. I mean, it involved people telling me you can't because of either ethnicity or because I never did pageants. It was expensive.
Expensive?
I sold my car.
Oh, you did.
But that's what I did because there was nothing that can stop me. And actually, one of my questions when I reached top 5 at Miss USA was, we heard that you sold your car to enter Miss Michigan. Why? And I said that. I said, I will not let financial problems stop me from achieving my dream.
Amen.
And I didn't need it for college because I'd graduated. Ha!
All right.
Educated. Underline.
Educated. Miss USA.
Yeah.
Educated. Hey, that's awesome too.
Thank you. I think that's a secret weapon. Education is key.
Well, I think education is key.
Important.
Period. Very important in our day and age.
Especially.
It's absolutely necessary to be educated. So just don't go to the pageants. Get the education then? Is that what you would tell the young?
Listen to your mom and dad. They said do whatever you want if you graduate college. And when my dad heard that I was hanging up my double major from the University of Michigan degree on the wall and going to put on a bikini, he flipped out. Yeah.
Okay.
He was like, excuse me? I go, Dad, I'm working. I was working, but.
What was your degree in?
I did economics and business management.
Wonderful.
And it wasn't easy working and going to college, and especially going to an expensive college. But, you know, it's the idea of what they call nowadays the secret. You know, the secret is when you put something out there in the universe or you believe in something that no one will stop you. You think that that's it, you're there. Like Oprah or Bill Gates, the only thing they did is not let anyone tell them you can't. And what I did is every negative comment I got, I turned that into positive. So, like you asked me before about my confidence in the camera, I wasn't looking at the camera like I loved it. I was looking at, hey, you remember when you told me I can't make it? Here I am.
All right, there you go.
You know, so.
And I have the philosophy that according to the Word of God, I can do all things through Jesus Christ who strengthens me.
And I've prayed
every single night. I am more than a conqueror in Jesus who loves me.
Exactly.
Greater is He who lives in me than who lives in the world.
Amen.
I can do this.
Especially, and you know what, it's not like everyone is looking at me like, wow, where did she get her confidence? Is there a specific vitamin I need to take? Or it's not easy, but every time I had to crawl up, I was not going to cry, I was praying. And I prayed every time I hit that stage. I've prayed every time I walked in an interview room. I've prayed every time I thought I was going to give up. And
Praise the Lord. So
one time that I have to admit, I felt like you told me your story of how you chose your home. You said, the Lord told me this is where I belong. And it was during Miss USA pageant. I'd been there competing for 20 days. And it was 2 days before the final night. And I was called down by 2 men with black suits on and a canine dog. And I was questioned about my ethnicity and my religion because someone of a racist or stereotypical mentality wrote a blog. Okay. And because of freedom of speech, we're allowed to write blogs. And her exact comment was that I should be dismissed from the pageant because and I'm going to use this word even though I hate it, terrorist. And that my family are terrorists. And here I am questioned by the FBI, 2 lawyers, the whole Trump organization about who I am. But they were not there to question me. They were also there for security reasons. They want to know if maybe someone had it out there for me, or Mr. Trump. You know, and at this point, what do you do? A 24-year-old by yourself?
And you are now how old?
26.
All right.
Well, the only thing I said to them is that is incorrect. I'm a U.S. citizen, and the only thing the blog writer has correct is the spelling of my name and the fact that I am from Dearborn, Michigan. But when I left that room, I did go into a public restroom and cried for 2 hours.
Oh.
But when I called the one person who's always been there for me, my mom, she told me to pray. And when I prayed, there was just this sudden, like, well, maybe people could relate to this 5-hour energy shot, a Red Bull can, like, that just shot up inside me. And I just put on these headphones and ran for 2 hours. So this blog writer actually gave me more empowerment. So she gave me more confidence. So now I really wanted to win the crown, just to change the mentality of so many.
And that is the title of this show, A Dream with a Crown.
Yes.
And you achieved that, didn't
Yes,
you?
I did.
And that's totally awesome.
Thank you so much.
And I am so excited for you, what you have achieved. And you achieved other crowns and awards before you achieved Miss USA. Tell us about that.
Well, I was secretly modeling
okay.
during the time I was going to college, and not because it was, I say secretly because I grew up in a community. We moved to Dearborn after New York, and that's all highly populated with Middle Eastern, so you don't see Arabic girls modeling, acting, singing, dancing, and they're all very talented. So I would throw my mom knew though. Girls out there, you have to have one person in your family that knows, and I would throw my bag out the window and go to fashion shows. But I wasn't going to stop. I knew that I belonged in a bigger city, and my dream was to be out there in the lights and the cameras and to use my fame for a good cause.
And the gifts and the skills and the talents that God gave you.
Exactly, thank you. And
yes,
and in
to
2000
to glorify Him.
Exactly. And in 2008, I was volunteering in different church community services and schools, and I was doing a lot of different things at once. But somehow I knew it all bridged together. 2008, my mom saw this pageant called Miss Lebanon Immigrant, and it was for all the girls who are Lebanese that grew up outside of the U.S. I went and competed, but if people don't know this, Lebanon is a majority Christian, and so you don't see Muslims really competing or doing much in Lebanon, in pageant world or anything like that. So I actually placed second runner-up, which was a big deal because I really never did pageants. After that, they sent me, instead of the winner, to Africa, and I won Miss Face of the Universe.
Repeat that.
Miss Face of the Universe.
All right.
Face.
Isn't that awesome?
In Ghana, actually. The pageant was in Ghana, Africa, where I started my first organization dealing with orphans with AIDS. And I used that because I won Miss Face of the Universe. At that point, I realized, okay, I can do these pageants. And I went to Dominican Republic, and I won Miss International.
Miss International. All right.
Reina del Turismo, 2008.
All right.
But I was competing as Miss Lebanon.
Okay.
And then in 2008, 2 months after I'd won those pageants, I entered the Miss Wayne County pageant in hopes to go to Miss Michigan, and I was automatically named Miss Wayne County. Now came Miss Michigan. Now in comes the expenses, the $1,000. Now, because I was going for the ultimate title, Miss USA.
You were going for Miss USA.
I was going for the gold.
Yes, absolutely. That was your dream.
Exactly.
All right.
And I'd graduated college, so I figured, you know what, I can commute to work, so I'm going to sell my car. The reason also is because my best friend at the time, her dream was to live in Chicago and be a model. And she needed a car, and I needed the money, so we traded.
Good trade.
And then I prepared for Miss USA, and that was tough, but
Well, did you have any idols along the way that you wanted to maybe pick up on some of maybe their skills or?
I would have to say one, Angelina Jolie. I know this sounds crazy, but she is a mother, a wife, a celebrity, but she uses her fame for such good fortune and adopting orphans and being ambassador to the United Nations. And to me, she was a superhero. And she, I believe, competed in pageants as well. So I'm like, that's amazing, you know. And she's one of the people that I actually like saw as someone, you know, I'd love to be like when I grow up. Someone else is Queen Noor of Jordan.
All right.
She is a queen, and also someone who was a lot of times because of her, you know, she was a different ethnicity. She wasn't accepted at first, but she used it to make a difference and change lives. And then my father, who was very smart and dropped out of school to put all his brothers and sisters in school and did nothing but live for all of us. So yeah, I wanted to one day be that girl to make him proud. And when he called me and told me I used to wake up at night worrying about all of you because I did not grow up, you know, very wealthy household. He goes, but now I wake up and go, my daughter made history. She's Miss USA. And I go back to sleep.
Oh, how awesome.
Saved us sleep apnea money.
Hey, that's awesome.
Thank you.
I know you made him proud.
Thanks.
And you continue to make him proud.
Thank you.
With the achievements that you are constantly reaching, goals that you're constantly reaching for. And we're going to go into that a little bit later about your future plans and goals.
Yes.
But before we go there, I want to hear more about the pageants that you entered into and the success that you achieved through these pageants, where they took you, opportunities that were presented as a result of those pageants, and the people that you got to meet. Your life is so exciting. Our viewing audience wants to know all about it. All right, and our time is running short, so we've got a lot to get in a short time. So let's just move right along, okay?
Yes. Do you want me to start
quickly
with that question of the people I've met? Okay, so I went from living in a community in Detroit to traveling the world. Right after I won, I got to go to Rwanda and meet Paul Kagame and work with females, with women of the genocide.
Absolutely.
China. I mean, I've been all over the world. And it's not, you know, it's beautiful. It is. It's gorgeous to know that you've achieved that dream. I slept next to the crown for about a month because I had to keep waking up and go, I did win. Go back to sleep.
Hey, would you repeat that? That's cute.
I did. I went to sleep at Miss Michigan and Miss USA both times. I put the crown on the pillow next to me. Maybe because I've always had a twin bed and now I was sleeping in the queen, maybe. But also to wake up and go, wow, I really did win. And I go back to sleep because it's a dream, and it's a dream come true.
And yes, and that dream did come true.
Yes.
For you, Reema.
It did.
And that's very exciting.
It did, and it's I want to pass it along. And when I hear people tell me that I motivated them, it makes me feel
that you made a difference.
Yes.
And what would you say to young women out there right now that have a dream, that they are trying to achieve? And maybe they're not trying to get to be Miss USA, but they have dreams of maybe becoming a model or, you know, kind of being in the limelight too, like you are.
Exactly.
What are some of the things they could do in preparation to obtaining these dreams?
One, like I said, never give up. And it's something easier said than done, understandable, but you have to find your gateway. When I say gateway, I mean when I thought something was going to make me stop, I would go back to either praying and then moving on to things I would write. I'd write letters to God. That was my way of reminding myself what I wanted to do. And there's an actual picture of me 2 minutes before live broadcasting of Miss USA. All the girls putting on lipstick, mascara. It's a backstage picture. And mine is me in a book, and a pen. And that was me writing my last letter to God before I entered stage and reminding myself why I'm on that stage. And right after I prayed, I started to sing a song, and I hit the stage. and you know what? It's find your way. And all I'm telling everyone out there is there's nothing that is impossible. We can have the first black president. There can be a girl from Detroit to win Miss USA and be the first Arab. And if you want to be the next first gymnastic Olympian from Nashville, what the heck, do it, you know?
Absolutely.
It can't be done. There's nothing that is impossible. Nothing. And nothing that you can't do in this world.
Well, I read somewhere if people are not laughing at your dreams, they aren't big enough.
Yes.
And that's true.
That is very true. And something Mark Twain said is, when you look back at the last 20 years of your life, you're looking back not at what you should have not done. You're looking back at what you should have done. So it doesn't hurt to try.
All right. Well, you had a funny story that you told me earlier about what happened behind the scenes at a pageant. Was that the USA pageant?
This was the Miss Michigan pageant.
Oh, Miss Michigan. Well, this is funny, and it'll give our viewing audience.
And I'm reminding people it was in Detroit. So. Okay, so this is going to be tough to explain if your kids are watching, but when girls wear bikinis, when girls are on stage, a lot of people wonder how come their bathing suits don't move, their bottoms, and we use something called glue for the bikini glue, I guess you could say, and we put it on the sidelines of the bikini, and we press it against our bodies, and we walk the stage so the bikini doesn't move and give you what you now call a wedgie. So there was this one girl who rolled in backstage with her team. She had a makeup artist, a pageant coach, a speaking coach, a walking coach.
Everybody,
She had a whole team. And, you know, I'm there YouTubing how to do exactly the pageant walk. And she's being rude to everyone, yelling at this girl. She basically was not letting the girls know that I'm here to win, letting them know, go home because you're not as rich as I am or as pretty as I am. And I remember asking a girl next to me why she had removed her dress off the hanger. She told me, oh, that's Katie. She competes every year. I go, okay, well, if you lose every year, you shouldn't be coming in here and thinking, you know, you could run the place. But it wasn't me. So next thing you know, her butt glue was removed and replaced with super glue by somebody.
Uh-oh, super glue.
So she put that on her bathing suit, but instead of putting it just on her bathing suit, she put it on her body and went to the bathroom and got stuck to the toilet seat.
Oops.
So the firefighters had to come in, unscrew the toilet seat, cover her with a bed sheet, and take her to the hospital so she didn't compete. Yes, that really did happen.
Well, it's funny, but it's sad.
Yeah, I don't want to know. I mean, next question.
Okay, well, I thought that was interesting.
That was really funny.
Because pride comes, what?
With what, sir?
Before the fall.
Oh, comes the fight?
Pride.
The pride.
When we're puffed up and prideful, she did suffer the consequences, I'd say.
Well, there's a difference between being cocky and rude and being confident. And when I won Miss USA, all the girls told Donald Trump, you picked the right girl. She's very confident, but we love her. And that was because I was supportive.
All right. Well, Miss USA 2010, we are going to have you back again because our time is almost out. But would you give us some contact information?
Sure. My website is reemafakih.com. That's FAKIH.com. At Reema Fakih for Twitter and Facebook. And if you want to email me, I'm willing to help anyone who needs more advice. You can email booking@reemafakih.com.
That's awesome.
And I hope to see you back because I'm currently dating Habiba's son, and she could be my next mother-in-law.
Oh.
I made sure I made you blush at the end. Actually, I'm the one blushing.
Well, I'm honored, my dear.
Thank you.
Very honored. And it would be very much an honor to have you as a daughter-in-law. I feel like you're a daughter already. So you have it. Hey, she won that crown too. Okay. But anyway, so with that being said though, are those in your future plans?
Yeah, so family is in my future plans. I'm hoping to write my own book and release it by 2015 because I like to pass on the word of confidence to everyone, and hopefully start my own organization to empower women and do more with orphans.
Okay. You have any more pageants you want to win before you do all that?
Absolutely not. I'm retiring.
You're retiring from pageants?
Well, actually, the pageant limit is 27 years old anyway, so my birthday's in September. That's my excuse.
Oh,
I
okay.
think now I want to be Mrs. Robertson.
All right. And my son is in the audience today. And
Blushing and going, stop the show. I'm kidding.
And I just thank my son, George Robertson, who wrote, "I'm sexy and I know it." Yes, he is out there in the audience today. And I'm just happy to have him with us as well. So, have any questions and want to contact me, I'm, as you said earlier, Habiba Chevalier, George Robertson's mother. And call in, let us know what you're thinking and how you can achieve the goals and dreams that you have. Change Lives 474-6516. I'm Habiba Chevalier, Change Lives, where we have the very best guest.